Yo, it's Yerk, and today I'm going to show you how you can make moving platforms in Fortnite Creative. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to make moving platforms in your own creative maps. This mechanic is super easy to make, and it wasn't really possible before this most recent update for Season 6, but let's take a look at what moving platforms actually are and a couple of examples of how it might be useful in your maps. So as you can see, the platform is moving across this Deathrun style level, and you have to stay on it to get across. And here's another example where you have to remember the path to get across, but before we hop into this tutorial, I want to let you guys know that we are 150 subscribers away from doing a face reveal. I told you guys I'd do it if we get my second channel where I teach you guys how to be YouTubers to 1,000 subscribers, and we're almost there, so check it out in the link in the description and in the top right corner right now, but let's get right back into this tutorial. Okay, to start setting this up, we're first going to need to grab out the new barrier device. Go ahead and place it down and open up the settings. We're going to set the style to whatever style we want, but then we're going to go down to the size settings and we want to set the width and depth to 0.5. And then for the height with this new barrier device, we can actually go down to 0.05, and we're going to do that just for the height. Then we're going to go all the way down to the very bottom and we want to set disable when receiving from to channel 1 and click OK. And we're just going to copy and paste the barrier down so it overlaps with our first barrier. Then open up the settings, and now we need to change a couple things, so we're going to set enable during phase to none. Then we're going to go down to the bottom and we want to set enable when receiving from to channel 1, and we're going to change disable when receiving from to channel 2. Okay, and now everything is super simple from here. Now we're just going to copy and paste the barrier again, and we're just going to add 1 to the enable when receiving from channel and the disable when receiving from channel settings. Each time that we place a new barrier, we're just going to add 1 to those settings, and you can do this as many times as you want. It's always going to follow that pattern: enable on 2, disable on 3, enable on 3, disable on 4, enable on 4, disable on 5, and on and on and on. Okay, so I went all the way up to 20, but you don't have to use as many, or you can use more. But now we need to send signals on those channels to make this work. So we're going to grab out a sequencer device and a trigger. Place down the sequencer and open up the settings. You can play with the tempo setting, but I recommend a range from anywhere from 30 to about 50. So anywhere in there to start with, and you can adjust accordingly. Then we're going to set start sequence when receiving from to channel 150 or any open channel that you have, and click OK. Now we're going to place down a trigger inside of the sequencer, and we're going to set it to when triggered transmit on channel 1. Then just copy and paste the trigger inside the sequencer until you have a trigger for every channel that you used on the barriers. So again, for me, that would be 20 triggers. Next, we're going to grab out a button or something to send a trigger when interacted with, and set this to transmit on channel 150 or whatever channel you use to start your sequencer. Now, the very last step is to go back to your first barrier and open up the settings. We want to set enable when receiving from the last channel that we used on our barriers. So for me, that's going to be channel 20, and then click OK. This way, once the moving platform goes all the way through its animation, it restarts back at the first one and it's back enabled. So now if you start the game and hit the button, you'll see you have successfully made a moving platform in Fortnite Creative. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and drop a like, hit subscribe, do whatever you want to do and all that stuff. If you want to support me, you can use code YerkYT in the item shop, and it really helps me out a lot. Check out some of my other videos that are on screen now. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay up.